Hey guys, welcome one more time to The Average Rider. I'm going to talk about how the Yamaha Xmax does on pretty curvy and twisty roads. As you can see, I'm taking it at a quite decent speed. Um, I was riding a couple of weeks ago in the same road, and I just slowed down there. This was one of the corners where there was a pebble and it almost wiped me off, and so I'm kind of careful here. um, Doing very well in terms of speed, and there you can see a fellow rider there. He's doing pretty good speed, but we're catching up and passing and holding speed through the curve. um, yeah, I think I'm gonna lose him soon on my rearview mirror, but that seemed like a big bike, and he was doing, the speed needed for the roads. But as you can see, I'm easily able to do 15 to 20 over on the Xmax, and if there was a much more experienced rider, he'd probably be doing a lot more through these curves. Pretty sure one of you who's ridden for more than 15 years has the capability to go through the curves much faster. But I've been riding these curves for months now, and I'm slowly getting to the point where I know where the curve is going. But still, it's still not a racetrack. It's a normal road, and so you never know who's going to come across, and you might have a very bad day if you're not watching and slowing down properly. A long time ago, I actually had a crash on my Yamaha R6, and it was when I was pretty inexperienced, and it was one of those turns which looked very similar to this, where it just kept going, and then it would turn back on itself. And I actually was very close to the inner curve of the road, and then the vehicle on the other side coming towards me was also on the inner edge, and I panicked and I didn't look through the curves. I just looked up and I ran out of road, and the motorcycle basically went and stuck itself in a wet marshy area, and that actually saved me. I was riding with full riding gear and helmet, everything. I still got thrown off my bike, and um, managed to come out unscathed because I had protection. So for all you riders out there, definitely wear your protection. I do every time I go riding. Just a disclaimer there. But as you can see, I'm averaging close to 45 to 50 on most of the roads here. You're supposed to be doing 25, 30. So you can easily with this vehicle go up into your favorite twisty roads, curvy roads, whatever you want to call them, and have a lot of fun. For this video, I did get a couple of questions that came to me from my friends. Hey, what camera are you using? Just public service announcement. I'm not into upgrading cameras a whole lot, so I used my GoPro, I think it was 4 session for the longest time, and I recently upgraded to this Acaso V50 Pro, and I wanted to start shooting in 4K. And the GoPros right now, with the supply situation, the pricing has just gone nuts, and I didn't want to spend like 500 grand on GoPro because the supply isn't available. So I'm just ended up spending, I think this one costed me about $120, and it shoots 4K fine. And as you can see, I'm not doing slow speed. I'm actually going pretty quick, and the image stabilization is pretty impressive on this camera. So highly recommend it, and I've put the links down in the description. So support me if you want to buy some action camera for your motorcycle and scooter rides, go ahead and click the link and purchase through that and show your support through there. And more than happy if you would also subscribe. I'm going to continue riding till the weather gets, cold and icy, and that's when I probably will stop riding. But up until then, I'm planning to have regular content on this channel. Anyways, getting back to the motorcycle, as you can see, I'm looking through the turns, and if I actually lean out of the motorcycle, as I'm doing right now, the Xmax actually holds the line amazingly well. It's almost like riding a motorcycle, where it really holds on to the line, and you're actually able to hold on to the speed and maybe even accelerate through the curves. You generally want to not do that in the blind corners, but with this motorcycle, it instills enough confidence that you want to actually go through the corner pretty spirited speed and then rev up to where you can actually accelerate through the curve. For most of the experienced guys, I think the fun is when you can accelerate through the curves. So that's something that you can do. I wouldn't do the same thing if it was wet. I've really not tested the scooter in really wet conditions, so that is kind of a thing that I wanted to try. I will try soon. But now I'm actually going downhill. I was going uphill in the initial part where I was overtaking the other gentleman on his motorcycle, the cruiser. But now I'm actually heading down the hill, and I can go much faster here. And then the brakes, I do have to say, this particular model is the one that has ABS on it. So the brakes have been great. It never feels wooden. And if I hold on to the brakes pretty hard, I can immediately feel it clamp on, and the speed drops very quickly. So I'm very happy with the brakes on this scooter. And this is another blind turn. I'm doing probably 45, 50 through this, and I know that on my motorcycle I would be doing the same speed. So I haven't lost any speed compared to a 300 to a 600cc motorcycle through these turns. You could go faster, but I would say you really want to watch and go carefully when you go through these mountainous, twisty roads. Like here, I have a cyclist who's going in front of me, and it's a blind turn. I really don't want to overtake him, and now that it's open, I can actually go ahead and overtake him and go forward. So on the whole, I would say yes, this motorcycle definitely can keep up with other much bigger motorcycles. You would be surprised. I always say it's the rider whose experience matters rather than the machine. But if the machine is good and the rider has enough experience, then the ride becomes even more exciting and breathtaking. In this scooter's case, it is very similar. I've ridden for a very long time, so I can take the turns much faster, and then I can keep up with faster riders. And of course, the slower riders, they're probably going to get left behind if you can ride the scooter properly. So with that, I think I'm gonna stop talking about the scooter and just pivot to another topic, and then in my next video we may probably continue through that. One thing that I wanted to do through this channel was not only talk about motorcycles and scooters, but also generally talk about America, the world, topics in general. And if there is any topics that you guys feel that we should be talking about in the current situation, for example, inflation. I think it's on everybody's mind. The value of everything is going up, and people's salaries are, I think, stagnating. it's kind of a difficult situation for people who are, working early and not making enough. And I really sympathize with those guys. And I hope the situation changes and we all can afford a decent life and what we want in life. But anyways, we will see more of those talks in the next episodes. Thank you for watching. Take care.